And now we have part 3 of the exciting Edgenuity PD trilogy, how to create your own course. So we went through the whole how to make your own course, how to choose the units, how to select different types of assignments. Again, hopefully it was helpful. Please send an email or give me a call if it wasn't, or if you need something further explained. And then you hit publish course, and it'll ask you to publish the course, and you'll hit yes, and they'll ask you to go to the settings window, which is where we are right here. So, this was the settings window. It has course options, it's called, and you have different things you can fill in here. So they have passing thresholds. If you have quizzes and tests, our school has obviously a 65 as a passing threshold, so we use the 65 here. Grade weights, if we have those quizzes, tests, exams, assignments, all in there. We have different rankings for those or different weights for those. You can put those in here, change them. If you want your assignments to count more, you can obviously change this. Tests to count less, change that. It all has to add up to 100 or gets very angry, so make sure it all adds up to 100. This one's additional. I didn't go over that. That's more of an advanced thing, but actually you can create your own assignments in these units. You can, if you have a custom assignment you want to add to a unit you already created, you can do that in this. I didn't go over that. Sort of more of an advanced thing. This is sort of the basic creating your own course, so we can do that sometime if you're interested in that. But that's why this is a 0. And then there's different options here that we probably just leave alone for the most part. We wouldn't have e-notes in our own courses. It allows you to save excellent quizzes. Some people might want to disable that. You might want to have them take the quiz all at one time. With this checked off, it means they can actually stop the quiz mid-quiz, save it, go back. The one thing, though, is if they actually look at any questions and don't answer them, they count as getting them wrong. So you'd have to warn students about that. But if you want a kid to go halfway through a test and if the bell rings, they can save it and then start back up again, you check these buttons. Fail attempts, Edgenuity likes to let you do retakes for free. So you can do up to 2 or 3, usually is the amount. But you can do that here in the fail attempts window right there. The grading methods, again, all of Edgenuity quizzes and tests and exams are multiple choice. So the grading account is automatic. Some of the projects and writing samples you grade yourself. But again, we go over that sometime if you'd like to talk about it. Reviews, this makes basically the Edgenuity creates a review for the test and a review for the exam. And it lets you sort of see what they did with those things. So they can't go and take a test until you reviewed their review and see what they did and see if they're ready for it, and the same thing with exam. So we usually let in Edgenuity kids take quizzes after each lesson, but once they finish a unit, we go back and like to see what they've done, and if there's definitely a test review, to see how they did in the test review before opening the test up. It also lets you kind of monitor who's taking tests and when, which is really important. Same thing exams. You only have 1 or 2 exams per course, but it's usually a good idea to click this so that you can actually see when they're taking the exam. These other things we don't use at all, but that's okay. This one would be review after each attempt. So if they did fail it, every time they failed the test, they'd have to go back and review it, which is fine too. Let's see what else. Guided notes aren't in many of the courses, but you can give it a click if that's fine. This one's a really important button, especially if you're going to use your course here and there and use it to fill in gaps. If you click this right here, it basically allows a student to go to anywhere in the course they want to. So if you remember, we looked at the different units. They can go from Unit 1 to Unit 7. They can choose each lesson in the unit whenever they want to. So if you ever wanted kids to kind of explore randomly through a course, or if you want to assign something, in September and something else in November and something else in December, and it's not going to be in the right order, you probably want to click this button because it'll let your students jump around without having to clearly edit and move things and sometimes bypass students on assignments. So that's a pretty important one to click if you want kids to kind of have free reign in there. Pre-testing, I would disable. Basically, pre-testing is if they pass the quiz before even looking at the exam, they take a pre-test basically, then they get to skip the entire lesson. We've taken that off for all our courses here because there are some definitely websites out there that show answers, so kids will sometimes skip entire lessons by finding those. We made the kids go through all the lessons by unclicking enable pre-testing. And then quiz reviews, basically it just sort of talks about how they see the review sessions. Time limits, these are really too long because they're multiple choice tests. And then start and end dates are there. And then finally, we don't do prescriptive testing, so keep that off. And basically, you just hit submit, and all your changes will be there, and you've created your own course. Any questions again, please let me know. Hopefully this was helpful. And shoot me an email if you have any questions, like I said.